YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Back in Total War Warhammer. I'm actually recording this from my laptop. I'll tell you more about the laptop as we kind of get started here. I'm using a Dwarf Rush army. Let me just give you the scenario. So I got a front line of warriors, and I've got 2 runesmiths, a rune lord, 1 longbeard with great weapons, 1 grumbling guard, quarrelers with great weapons, Ulthar's raiders, 1 slayer, 1 dragonback slayer, and 2 miners. So it's a pretty rushy dwarf army. My opponent over here playing as the Empire has a Hammer of Witches, which is an odd pick, I think, for the Empire. But I mean, it's a good cannon. And he's got 4 great swords in the center, 2 gunners, 2 crossbows, 1 spear, 1 general of the Empire with his healing potion, of course, and an Amber Wizard with Doomflock. And the Doomflock has already forced me to start splitting up my dwarves, and I'm going to start charging forward. So yeah, I'm recording this on my new gaming laptop. I've had one before, and it was fine for recording, but it struggled, and it got really hot, and I had to take a cooling pad with it. So I wanted to get like a full-size gaming laptop that was really meant to be a desktop replacement. Not something necessarily that I expected to sit and have in my lap while on the couch or something. But something that could actually go on the road with me and record. I figured it would be a good investment, right? If I go on a trip for my day job and I just have this time at the hotel each night where I'm sitting around doing nothing, typically in the past I would have recorded a whole bunch of content ahead of time, and then I would have tried to upload it, and it was a lot of work, and it took time away from Mrs. there, and I, before I went on these long trips, which, you know, I didn't like that, she didn't like that, so I get the laptop, which of course is fun for me, and I can record while I'm in the hotel, so I can get stuff done while I'm on the road for YouTube. In fact, I can usually get ahead since I have, you know, the time at night to do it, and I don't have to worry about, you know, losing time with family because they're already not here. It gives me a great opportunity. So yeah, I'm using the MSI GT73 VR Titan. It is the model 426, has the KB Lake 7820K, and it is a fantastic laptop. Right now it's on ultra settings. And as I record this really up close here, I'm getting about 55 frames a second, and as I zoom back away from the or like when the battle first starts and the 2 armies right on top of each other, I get about 110 or 20. But in a combat like this, I'm getting anywhere from about 45 to 60. But when you just run like the benchmark battle on Ultra, it gets about 103, something like that. Check out my Ulthar's Raiders putting some axes into this Empire chicken. Able to chase him off here, and the initial combat starts going extremely well for me. The great swords are getting wrecked by Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and I used the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin and ruined these great swords right here. So the great swords are getting defeated. They're taking a toll, but they're getting defeated. They're just getting overwhelmed by numbers, and that's working out to my favor. Now, unfortunately, my Grumbling Guard got freaking wrecked out here, and I think, yeah, crossbows played a hand in that. So unfortunately, that was a really good unit for me. And my Slayers are my fast units, and it kind of leaves me in a predicament. Like, they would be good at chasing down all these units over here, but they're also good at fending off the flying enemies that the Empire is sending at me. There was an overcast on the Doomflock, which ends up working out really well for me because the Wizard's doing damage to himself. I need that. So my Runesmiths, my Rune Lord, easily pushing through the Great Swords at this point. The Great Swords are falling apart. Now here comes the dangerous part of this battle. So far I've done okay, but I have to chase down his skirmishers, and I have to get rid of his cannon, but that means that I'm going to have to split up, which means that his 2 Griffins can start to plunge in on me at will, and then I'm going to start potentially making micro mistakes like I do right here. These Ulthar Raiders were focused elsewhere. The Griffin could have easily charged them right there, and it didn't, fortunately for me. And really these guys need to be focused on bringing down the enemy Lord. And I'm hoping that that's where I would be using them. At the moment, I haven't been. So the enemy Lord comes down right in the middle of all of my guys here, trying to maybe get an attack my Lord. He's going to be able to get out of here. I mean, the mass on these guys is really easy for them to overcome the Dwarves. So the Dragonback Slayers are about the only thing to get a chance. Another very nice Doomflock here. My opponent is hurting me badly with Doomflock. And it's inevitable in this game whenever you're trying to blob in and kill something like this General of the Empire. That's where Doomflock is so handy. Now here, this Jade, or Amber Wizard comes down on his Jade Griffin. Is that a Jade Griffin? I think it was. Really awesome looking. Anyway, my Dragonback Slayers are going to really massacre this thing because he only has 50 armor, and that's just not enough armor to keep it safe. Whereas, unfortunately, here my Ulthar's Raiders start getting ripped apart by the enemy Lord. This was a unit I should have been protecting with my other unit of Slayers, but I was not. So that was very unfortunate for me. I'll tell you the annoying thing about Griffins when you're the Dwarves is even if you do manage to catch them, and you get some real damage done like this, he's going to rout. Watch this. As he routs, my guys have an attack order, but when a unit routs, it's like they really pick up speed. And look at that, he's going to get away. Even though my guys have a slowing effect, he's still going to get away, which means that he's going to get more Doomflocks on me, even though I effectively killed this unit right there. It routes and it's able to get away. It's just irritating. But it's something you have to fight with. Now, again, I had him right where I want him, but of course, as I have to now split up and chase the skirmish, you can see my army starting to get beat up. And intelligently here, and not so intelligently on my part, rather than seeing this, you know, I do have to take out the cannon. I can't let the cannon sit there and kill me. There is woods right over here where I could take some shelter from the Empire skirmishers and the flying cavalry, and definitely was an opportunity for me that probably should have been taken, but it was not for whatever reason. You can see here that the Empire general is able to get a lot of work done kind of piecemeal. Now back here, meanwhile, my guys are pushing forward after the Empire skirmishers because they are slowly whittling away at me, and I've been able to catch and kill quite a number of them, so it's been pretty worthwhile. But like I said, where units get singled out like this, like these miners, easy picking for the General of the Empire. So you have to be very careful of this. And see, there's Dragonback Slayers, and I have another unit of Slayers here too that chased off a unit of Empire Knights earlier. Here, though, I let the Empire Knights regroup and wasn't paying attention. They're going to come back and kill my few Quarrelers with great weapons, which again could be very handy at getting rid of skirmishers. You're dead, because Aramis microed you. Welcome to my army. So yeah, this is actually really in my favor right now, right? So this is leaning heavily in my favor now. However, the General of the Empire lands back here, and I don't have a lot of units here to protect my Rune Lord and my Runesmith, and the General of the Empire just starts getting some real work done back here. My guys don't have like the armor piercing trait, so they're pretty slow to do damage, whereas the General of the Empire does have the armor piercing trait, and he has better attack, and he is just getting some real work done back here versus my Rune Lord, which is not good. I used the Master Rune of Negation, and it's helping, and he's used his healing potion, which of course helped him, and then the freaking Amber Wizard that came back, this filthy Griffin, was able to get back in here and get rid of some more of my units, and then he's going to have Doomflock available. That Griffin looks awesome, actually. Looks freaking awesome. So yeah, my Rune Lord over here gets dealt with, so this is great. Now I'm down to Rune Lord. I tried to get him away, but the Empire General's easily able to ignore my Runesmith and just stay on target here. So my Rune Lord's going to get killed. But fortunately for the Dwarfs, I have another Runesmith, #1. This one's now going to die because he's out here alone. Yeah, there's my Rune Lord. Yeah, he got shot, so he's dead. So Rune Lord's out, and I'm like, alright, this is great. I'm trying to retreat to the forest, and another great Doomflock comes in. And this is bad because the Doomflock is his best bet at getting rid of my Slayers. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get into the woods, and I'm going to fast forward for just a second. I get into the woods, and then I decide I really don't want to just sit here because he's going to be able to use up all of his ammo, which is going to do considerable damage to the units that I have left. And then another Doomflock came in, and I didn't know if he had any more magic. I kind of figured that was the end of it because he's not overcasting. He could be potentially avoiding the overcast, like my Ulthar Raiders came back. These guys are awesome looking, by the way. I figure he may not be overcasting just due to the lack of magic, or it may just be because his Amber Wizard's so weak. But no, he cast another one over here, so he had magic. He's probably just trying not to overcast and kill his own Amber Wizard. Now, I moved my Slayers a little bit away, and I left my Runesmith back here vulnerable. And I did this kind of on purpose so that I could take other units and chase the skirmishers, while my Slayers double back and try and kill the Amber Wizard, because he was weak, and I'm just trying to bring down. I don't want him to have 2 charges coming in, but of course the Amber Wizard's able to easily slip away, as is his Lord, because the Dwarfs just don't have the speed or holding power that we need here. The Ulthar's Raiders are gone at this point, so they're no longer a factor here. They can be very handy at killing these guys had I used them properly early in the battle, but I did not. And it's made my opponent able to make this a much closer game than it should have been. Much closer. So as I sit here and take a look at the battlefield, you can kind of see everything that's going down. Just basically me chasing around his big giant birds. Ouch. Pretty sure that was a Grumbling Guard right there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Grumbling Guard. They didn't rout, though, impressively enough. The Grumbling Guard is pretty awesome. So his Amber Wizard's barely alive. If he has Doomflock left, then I'm screwed. But I'm like, well, I gotta get his skirmishers. I can't just let him sit here. I've got some runes coming up on my Runesmith, so I'm just trying to get in here and do some damage. His handgunners get caught. He swoops in, and of course I'm able to now get my Slayers into his Amber Wizard. And the Amber Wizard should croak. So we got him. Like Mr. Radagast Brown is kind of what that guy reminds me of. But then the General of the Empire just riding around in here killing, and then the crossbows can sit back here at point blank range firing in, which is, again, quite unfortunate for me. But I got a Rune of Wrath and Ruin in here, which did some work. It helped get rid of some of these guys, but they still have some ammo and some hit points, and they're not routing. So they're getting pretty frustrating. This is going to get it down to be a very close fight. I have like this small band of stunties, including a few Slayers. Now the Grumbling Guard are actually pretty important that they're here, because if you'll notice, all my units are fresh, which means they actually fight better, whereas the Empire General is winded. So the Grumbling Guard being alive here in the end is actually kind of a big deal. I got a few more Dwarf Warriors that roll in. He's not able to kill my Runesmith easily here, and my Slayers are starting to get some work done. The Runesmith is able to get a little bit of work done. I get another Rune of Wrath and Ruin up soon, and I'll be able to help deal some more damage. But you can see it's extremely close. Extremely close. I have a Miner that came back from routing over here as well. So I'm just going to keep throwing everything I can back at the Empire. Again, early on I felt like I was doing good here, and then just mistake after mistake ended up making this an extremely close battle. The Rune of Wrath and Ruin finally gets rid of the crossbowman back here, which means that the General of the Empire is on his own. I lost some Dwarf Warriors right there, but there's a few Slayers and like 2 Grumbling Guard. And my Runesmith, look at this fiercely loyal group of Dawi who refuse to rout in the face of a giant monster who keeps disemboweling their brothers, and it ends up being an extremely Pyrrhic victory for me. I don't know which part of me like feels good that I won that, because I felt like I was doing good at first, and I was like, man, I really want to win this, but then at the same time I made so many mistakes, and my opponent kind of deserved to win it too. That was just close. It was close. This is the one time when it calls it a Pyrrhic victory, and it's actually probably correct. It seems like it calls it Pyrrhic victory all the time, and it's really not. What'd y'all think? Do you like that? Do you enjoy it? I hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to be bringing you content all week, even though I'm out on the road. I'll be getting as much recorded as I can to keep you entertained. Hope y'all enjoyed this. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon.